Hey guys, for today's video, so I wanted to for today's video it could be different, so here's the thing. And first up, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the post notification. It is kind of a talking video, but it's so before you click off oh, boring talk. This is my personal training schedule. What I mean is I am literally, so I was thinking lately, I love dance. I love training to be a pop star. That's something that I generally love, and I'm really happy I get to do that and stuff we were wise. But I also love pushing myself. I am the type where I would much rather work for something and dance related instead of just naturally have it. For me, because, and I say that because so much comes naturally to me. I naturally have the straight leg, I naturally have the technique, straight legs, pointed feet. I and just the placement that goes into ballet and the technique. That situation, I naturally have the technique and I'm naturally really good at performing. And because I may not nail every step sometimes with hip and stuff, it takes me a minute to pick it up. I feel I feel like I pick up really fast with dance, but I feel I'm generally with me, I feel I'm do really good at picking up fast, but you can't go over it once. It's once we go over that section, at least 2 times, then I got it and we can continue, and I feel that works out really good. So for some people, they pick up really fast, and I'm one of the ones that I can pick up really fast, and I feel even going over the one section once, it still kind of works. It's just not gonna be perfect. I feel once I kind of got used to it a little bit, then it turned out better than going over just once and then just doing it, But situation, I feel I pick up really fast. I naturally have technique, and I'm really good at performing and that sort of thing. So lately, I'm you know what, I like to work on my own. What I mean by that is I love working on worldwide, training on that. I love that. But I also enjoy just me. What I mean by that is I like training on my own too. When it's not a teacher watching me and that sort of thing, then it's kind of more for fun, but also I feel that's really good because it helps me get even more hours in training, that sort of thing. And so lately I went you know what? I'm doing that. I'm literally making a set schedule, and I am on my own time, I'm each day having something set for that day. And today I wanted to share it. Also here is technically the list. I'm still I'm tweaking it, I'm adding on to it. I need to grab the pen. Let me grab it. Okay. So I want to explain it to you, and this is what I do as a dancer, that sort of thing. And first up today, I have 2 dance classes. I have an advanced hip-hop class with Natalie, which I'm looking forward to. I love advanced hip-hop with Natalie. I love hip-hop with Natalie. I feel it's just a lot of fun. I just really love it. I'm a performer. That's like, we're ignoring my messy hair, okay? So, like, today, like, I have advanced hip hop with Natalie, and also I have a advanced ballet class with Danny, also known as Daniela. So I'm very excited about that. And then I give myself, like, here's a fun fact about me. I log on early. Like, and there's actually a reasoning behind it, which is I log on early because of the fact that it gives me I feel like basically I log on early in just so I can train. And like, what I mean by that is I'm constantly training to be a pop star and stuff. There's a lot that goes into dance. But something that is I log on early as an excuse to train even more. And I feel like the reasoning is because, unfortunately, I'm going to say this because it's true. And it's not a bad thing, but I don't know, depending on how you look at it. I feel like for someone who's not a dancer or someone that doesn't know that much about dance, it might seem like a bad thing, but for someone who is a dancer or knows a lot about dance, it's not a bad thing. And unfortunately, part of why I log on early is to psych people out. Now, what that is, in case you do not know, it's a very common thing in dance, where basically what you do is, it's kind of like you're dancing in front of your competition. It's like when you go to a dance competition and you start dancing like backstage or in the wings and you start dancing. Like, what I mean by that is the purpose of it is to show that you're a really good dancer and to get your competition nervous and scared before they even walk on stage. And that sounds bad that I'm trying to get them nervous and the whole purpose of it is for your competition to be that person's really good. I don't know if I can beat that person because they're really, really good. And get them nervous before they even go on stage. So that situation. So yeah, I like doing that. And that sounds like a bad thing. Sorry. And just, but I like psyching people out. I feel like it's not that I get joy of making them nervous. I feel like it's just kind of one of those things that it's that extra reminder that you're good. Because I get to do it and then kind of see that sometimes I'll see someone's face will change or something, maybe they got a little nervous from that. And that sounds bad, but it's actually a very common normal thing in dance. And so it's kind of I always know I'm good. It's not that, it's just an extra little reminder sometimes. And I work really hard in dance, and lately I've been you know what? I log on early for multiple reasons. Number one, more training time. And what I mean by that is, this is something so I can log on an hour, not joking, I have logged on an hour early. A couple of times, and literally it's I can log on, and it kind of gives me that it makes me work harder because it makes me realize at any moment a teacher could log on. At any moment, a teacher could log on or something like that. it like makes me work really hard, and I like it. So now every single day I'm setting aside something, or most days, and that's kind of the thing. And because I want to train longer, and Worldwide is giving me a lot of training, but I wanted to also add on my own training of like things that maybe I learned from dance class and just work on it. So I'm gonna read you the list that I have, and I'm still like tweaking it and adding things. And today is Tuesday, and the only thing for Tuesday, because the other days have more than one thing. Tuesday has one thing, which is a workout. And what I mean by that is something that, like, conditioning is really, like, a thing for dancers, and it's basically just a workout, and it's, like, really good. And because my parents got me, like, a pair of, like, 5-pound weights, I can go higher with weights. It's just like we figured for a starting point that we would start with 5 pounds. Like I can go much heavier than that, but for a starting point and as a dancer and stuff, and we don't like for a starting point we're starting with 5 pounds. So like I can go higher, like much higher, but we're starting with 5 pounds because of the fact that literally my parents were like, when we talked about it, because this is something that I feel like, and we got them because a while ago my mom, like, was making me stretch every day, like, sort of thing. So, but the thing was with that, I liked it and I didn't like it because I liked it and I didn't like it because first up, it was pushing me and it was making me stretch every day for an hour, and that's a lot. But the thing was, she was like kind of taking over and like I doing what she thinks is the best stretches, that sort of thing, and like that's what I would do. Versus, I kind of grown and I learned like eventually she like stopped, and now like that's why I like doing it like in my room and stuff now, because I get to I kind of do it my way, and no, like I can. The thing is that like I know what like sort of stuff is like the like main thing in dance. It's the main thing. Like I know every time you do a warm up and stretch, like there's gonna be a right side split, a left side split, and like a standing split, a bend and flex standing split thing. That's actually not fun for me. I feel like it's not fun for me. Like I but I feel like I get through it pretty good because but I would take that way over the standing split push-ups. Like, and it's not the fact that literally, for those who don't know what a standing and split push-up is, you literally get in a standing split, which is basically you pick your side, one on whatever side, one leg, well, one foot, it's gonna be on the ground, straight on the ground. And then your hands are going on the ground, almost in a pike position. You look it up if you don't know what a pike position is, because I can't really explain it. And then your other leg is going up in the air, straight up. Almost it's like you're doing a split, but and it's slightly different because instead of the split being on the ground, it's the same thing as a split essentially, but your hands are on the ground and one leg is in the air, one leg is on the ground. And like Abby makes us do that, and then she makes us do push-ups in that position. So like our arms go down, and stuff is like really challenging. It's important and I get the importance of it, but it's tiring and it's challenging. And then, so my parents got me using weights and I just feel like I'm putting them to use. Like, a workout is good as a dancer, it's making me work harder, and conditioning is great as a dancer. And this can actually be great for a lot of things. For like strengthening your core, like different things. Then we got Wednesday. I made Wednesday very simple with 2 different things and turns because I learned a bunch of like stuff to like improve my turns and that sort of thing. A thing from Rebecca Davis, who is an Australian teacher and she is fabulous. And I learned a bunch of stuff to like improve my turns, and I feel like it improved my turns because that after that class, like I went into that Zoom class and I could like sometimes nail like a double turn and occasionally a triple turn, but I was not consistent with anything. And now I can practically almost nail a double turn consistently. Like, I have made improvements. And then I also put stretch for like stretching because a little bit of that's good. And then Thursday, I put jumps and stretching because jumps are the thing where like I feel like they're important, they get used a lot as a dancer, and that's something great to just work on, and a little bit of stretching, like that's great. And then Friday I put random, because like days that I don't have dance are days when I'm not going to do as much. And so like, and I put random because Friday, Friday is like a day of like, anything, I chose random because it's anything that I feel I need to work on. It's like whatever it is, I worked on it. I'm gonna go ahead. I got my JoJo pin. I love it. It's super cute. And I'm gonna actually put a time on each. I'm thinking. We'll come back to that. We'll like come back to that. I'm gonna put okay, if my pin will work, I will be using it, but it decided. There we go. 10. I put 10. And then I'm going to do a little M. And, okay. For Wednesday, I put 10. Like 10 minutes. And that will be like 10 minutes of like working on turns. Because with turns, I feel like I have definitely tried to like do some of the stuff since then. And I feel like 10 minutes is a good amount of time. Considering 10 minutes on top of like this, I also have like Gianna Martello's and stuff. So like 10 minutes seems good. And that for like turns. And then like with stretching, that I'm not putting a time on. It will just be like some stretching, you know. And we're gonna make this one like kind of a lower of like 2 minutes for, we're doing 2 minutes for jumps, because jumps I feel like are kind of a stronger area of mine, / I'm also not in a massive space, and 2 minutes is pretty good to like kind of just focus on whatever jump I'm working on. And I don't want to get myself too tired before dance that day, considering it is the long day of, well, the long night of dance. and stuff, and then stretching again, like I'm not putting a time on. And then we're gonna move on to Friday. Friday, I don't have dance, so I feel like I should go a little bit easier, but like, I'm thinking here. I'm gonna like give myself a minute to like think and like chat with you guys, because Friday I wanna go a little bit easier because I work really hard in dance. Slash also like something extreme that I wanted to tell you. And on top of all of this, you think this is like, oh, add on, like great, like I and stuff. Like I see the importance of like a workout, like that situation as a dancer, like conditioning, that sort of thing. And Abby pretty much like is like it's like great. I feel like it's like perfect for me because I want to work harder. Great, it can help me with so many things, new things. Also, tonight I'm gonna be on point again, and I look forward to like point work because it's challenging. I feel like I pretty much almost took naturally to point work. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, in ballet there is different types of shoes. There's one type that is called a ballet like slipper. It's like the most common, like very common, basic, kind of what everyone uses. And then there is another type of shoe called a point shoe, and when you see like dancers doing ballet and they go up on their toes, we're gonna pretend my hand is like the floor, and then this hand is my toe. Like when you go up like this on your shoes, that means that they are wearing point shoes, which is basically made of wood. So yeah, so like but point shoes, first up, I'm gonna say a few things about them. First up, if you are considering going on point but you know nothing about it, like that sort of thing, first up, if you have point shoes, the elastic, a great little tip that I heard, I didn't do it, but also like I didn't, but I heard that like for like people who are like just getting used to point shoes, and put the elastic on the outside of like the heel area, like it's like a like better thing to like adjust to, but once you are used to it, the elastic goes on the inside. It's like to get you used to it, but also another little thing is I would recommend, in being over 8 years old at least, I would say I would actually recommend more towards like being 10. I feel like because point work is, first step, it's challenging. And yeah, like I would recommend like kind of just getting used to like ballet before you jump right into point work. Now, like every like dance teacher is different. Every dance teacher has different opinions on things, and I say this because I have worked with two different ballet teachers. Teachers with like point, and both of them had like two different opinions on it. Like the first ballet teacher that I worked with ALDC Worldwide Zone was pretty much after I went like I'm going on point like soon, and she was excited like she thought, oh, like I can do it, like that situation. But then and the second ballet teacher was Danny, he also known as Daniela. She was also very excited when she realized I was on point, but she did tell me to be careful because I don't think she understood I had been on point for a while at that point. And I took pretty naturally to point where it's very hard. And I was very shocked because I am horrible at balance. And somehow I took to it pretty quickly, considering I had been doing point work, I want to say not quite a year, but like, I want to say, actually by now, I feel like it's been close to a year. It might be a year. I'm not exactly sure down to the date, but like, it's been around a year, or it might be like exactly a year. But I have been on point for a while now. Also, another little thing that you should know, your feet are probably gonna have to adjust to point work. What I mean is the first time I went on point, the first time I went on point was like, on my own, and it was like, it worked really well. I wasn't on point for very long. But the first ballet class I did on point, which was like the first time I was actually working on point for more than like 2 minutes, like I would say for at least an hour, hour and a half. And my baby toe on my pinky toe essentially, on my right foot, kinda got like a little bubble on it. Like, I don't really know. It was like a bubble, it was like a little bit of skin that had like a bunch of air in it or something. I don't know, but it was like, it turned a little bit, actually it turned a little bit pink. At first it turned a little bit pink, and then the second time that I went on point, like for a ballet class, was a week later, and my feet got destroyed. What I mean by that is like that little pink turned into like a bubble of like skin, and then all of my feet, like I was saying, I know not all of my feet, but like my right foot like had 2 or 3 different spots of peeled skin, and one of the spots was kind of bleeding a little bit. And then my other foot was pretty good, but it had some peeled skin on it. Like, my feet were not like, And then so much so that I literally had to put band-aids on, like, literally, because it was not fun. Like, and my heel on my right foot, like, had some peeled skin. So literally, I had to take like band-aids and band-aid up all of my toes together. And then like not walk on my toes the next day. And it was like not fun. And then when I took the band-aids off finally, like it was not fun because for like I want to say at least 2 weeks, my like feet were like just not having it. Like I went and like to do like a split on like a dance mat, and my feet instantly like burned because I had wiped a spot with peeled skin. It was not fun. So your feet might need some time to get adjusted to point. So yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna put a time down. We're going small. We're going to go with a small, simple, by 4 minutes in it for Friday, and we will put okay, and then for Tuesday we will put 30 minutes. And it's because I went with 4 minutes for Friday because I don't have dance on Friday, so I want to go with a lower time, and it's random, and usually with something random, which is anything that like I need to work on. Like 4 minutes is like, I feel like it's not gonna take me too long. 4 minutes seems good. And then I went with 30 minutes on Tuesday, but I can add on. And what I want to tell you is I'm hard on myself. So much so, so for a while, I, like, have been thinking, like, For Christmas, I want to say my sister got for me or like made it for me. I'm not sure, but someone in my family made me this box. It's like painted and it's like dance themed and it says Lolly. And I have been like back and forth on what to put in this box. I want it to be something kind of dance related, and I came up with it. I'm gonna make it into kind of like a punishment box. And what I mean is, so whenever I do not do my extra on my own, like work sort of stuff, and stuff like training is what I mean. And off of this list, or it doesn't even have to be like, I can switch it up if I need to, like, if like maybe on like Tuesday I'm feeling more of like working on turns, I can work on turns and switch days, like, it's fine, like, but I want to do it so whenever I start getting lazy with my training, or I don't follow the list or something, and I'm gonna have a bunch of little papers. I'm gonna pick one, and then I'm gonna do that as like kind of like a consequence for not keeping up with my training. So yeah, it's not gonna be like a bad thing. It's to make me work harder and to remind myself when I start getting lazy, this is what happens. Peace out.